Hi, Angela. Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and today is day 3 of 7 days of compassion. This is a tarot tag that I started a few days ago that I invite all of you to join in on at any time whenever you feel inspired. This notion, this thought came to me quite spontaneously as I was sitting with Jen from Jen's Science to Soul Tarot and Transformation with a group of us who had participated in the Gratitude Challenge 2021 that was started by Jen. And it was just one of those random thoughts that just went and moved through me. And this is what it has evolved into, but I kind of feel like this is an evolving process and this is only the first step. So welcome, Jen. I have a few things to say today. One is that there's a reason why, well, there's always a reason why we pick up the tarot deck that we do. And yesterday I wrote down something from the beginning of Jeremy Hush's guidebook because I'm working with the Hush Tarot. He says, my characters are always on a journey. They appear lost, in the weeds, but there is always a hidden clue to the way out. There is meaning to the direction they walk, and for every turned glance. They are, and he talks about them being humans, not fae. It's a matter of perspective. And so this was the card I had on the first day. This is the Six of Wands. And you'll see that she's not looking where the bird is flying, which is something I didn't speak to. And then on the second day, yesterday, I talked about this card with that human tucked inside underneath the cat, almost as if her head is the cat's heart. And I zoomed in on the card and talked about the insects that are down on the ground, moving this pine cone and the teamwork that is involved in moving that in the cone. And then there's one that's a little further ahead. And one of you talked about holding space and how that is so important. And maybe this is about the journey. And a lot of things have come up over the last few days about the journey. An hour ago, I was shuffling the cards, channeling Brigide, receiving a message for Imolk tomorrow. And the first card that I drew was the Lover's card from the Wild Unknown Tarot, which I feel she resonates very deeply with. I feel like the Wild Unknown Tarot is very fiery. She is a goddess of fire, one of her associations. And my card for oh, it's already up there. My card for today from the Hush Tarot is the Lover's card. And so part of this journey, my journey, I can't speak to your journey, is this very big number 6 card. This number 6, this card of harmony, this card that sits at the center of the tree of life. This card, this number 6 place that speaks to beauty. Many, many years ago, I had a past life reading that it just had so much in it. And I have to tell you this, that this is kind of an aside. The integration of readings can take years. And so I believe it's really important that if you're not recording a reading, to write it down, to take photos, to take notes, make sure you date it. because sometimes this integration can take a long, long time. One of the words that came through in that reading was about beauty. And the reader talked about, she was channeling Metatron, Archangel Metatron, and it was about the importance of me understanding the meaning of that intersection, beauty. She didn't talk about the intersection. She used the word beauty. And it was really, I mean, in this moment, a whole bunch of other stuff is coming through. But this is what this card, this lover's card is about. It's about that important intersection in the center of the tree of life, where all of these paths come together and we start to understand that we're not separate. The lover's card, so specifically in this deck, we are looking at Krishna, Radha Krishna. It really symbolizes the soul seeking divine love. Now, for those of you that have the Hush Tarot and you have this little white book that goes with the deck, I don't know Jeremy Hush's connection to the Hindu pantheon, to yogic teachings, but he does not use in the guidebook the term Radha Krishna or Krishna and Radha. He refers to different deities. He refers to Shiva and Parvati. But what he's actually drawn here is Radha Krishna. If you look to the peacocks, you look to the flutes, the flute. Krishna is usually often playing a flute. It's very clear that this is one. Krishna is one of the avatars, the incarnations of Vishnu. And while all of the aspects of Shakti and all of the aspects of Shiva are one, if we have to label it, to me, this is a Radha Krishna image. And the thing here is the union, understanding our oneness, our completeness. And I believe last hour, I started to talk about the reason, the lover's card. So the reason that we seek relationship, the reason that we seek partners, that we seek challenging relationships, we bring them into our life, is because so we can understand aspects of ourself. But ultimately, that love and beauty and divine energy is complete within, and we don't need another. Because we already are whole. So I want to get to the compassion piece. Amber's going for a walk. You can probably hear her getting leashed up. Oh, that's beautiful. Your personal card. That's such a big card. I'm sure you're going to have a very profound year, Angela. And so the reason I want to comment on what Andrew just said, well-tempered Claire. And so in order to understand the completeness, we go through the experience of duality. I really feel that we can't understand oneness unless we experience duality. So there's this connection. And so the compassion pieces that came through with this whole thing, sometimes the spiritual path can be a lonely one. It can be uncomfortable, even frightening at times. And so as I was looking at this card and reflecting on people of a long time ago, my heart was just filled with this sensation of, I don't know if I can describe it as compassion, but I can't imagine those ascetics who went out into the wilderness and lived those really challenging lives, the people who went into caves for years, the people who lived without food or water or a change of clothing or anything, like I can't imagine that austere life. And so my heart was filled with compassion for their commitment to their understanding of their divineness. So that was something that was coming through, and I had no intention of like going back that far and thinking about that kind of challenging lifestyle. I was thinking more about you and me and our much more mundane experience with our divine experience, and how it's so important to have compassion for our journey. And what I'm feeling with this deck for me is the reason that I went back to it is so that I can start to have more compassion for the journey and for everyone's journey. And in that cat card yesterday, that human with her eyes rolled back is in the heart of the cat, is in the heart space of the cat. And so I don't know if it was Angela or one of you said something about how important that was, just to hold space, not to guide people's journeys, but just to listen and to be there for people as they go through their journeys. And so that was really gratefully appreciated. And so all of this just started to flow together, because I've never drawn this 6 card before in this deck. And this card is the reason why I purchased this deck, and it's never come out. So yeah, so I think that's the underlying essence of all of this. Perhaps a culmination of these 3 days is compassion for the journey, compassion for others' journeys, self-compassion for my own journey. It's because we can be in a rush, we can be self-critical. Like right now, I'm preparing the video for the Tarot of the She, and I'm going back through John Matthews' book, John Matthews' PDF that goes with the Moon Oracle of the She. And I can feel my impatience coming up with a desire to communicate with the She, to be downloading from the She, so that when I offer this video, I feel like I have touched source. And my ego, I'm not in my heart space. I'm in my ego. My ego wants to have a little chit chat with the She. So the self-compassion piece here is to understand that I am a soul having a human experience, and sometimes that human experience can be quite egoic. And I know we all go through that. And this experience, this journey that you are on, that each of you are on, is just awesome. It's like, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. If we could have the gift just to step back and look at it from, oh my God, one of my favorite movie scenes, Meryl Streep in Out of Africa, when Robert Redford takes her up in the airplane, and they see, and she says, this is something about God's view, God's eye, seeing the world from God's eye, in that voice. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. But if we could see the world, the big picture from the eagle view, just for a moment, how much easier our lives would be. So that's where my compassion, compassion's going. All right, so I'm just going to shuffle my cards for tomorrow. Check in with you, lovely people. Mary Beth is back. Sadhana, what was the most compassionate expression? What was the most compassionate expression you've experienced? Wow. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. You know, that kind of experience where you feel that somebody really sees you or they really are holding space for you. It's hard. I have to think about that. Maybe I can answer on one of the following nights. I'm thinking around, it might have been, I birthed 2 of my children at home. Something from one of those situations, perhaps. I've never really been sick or injured. When I was going through the pain and the agony, yes, it was it was agonist. It was full of agony, like the beginning of the separation from my husband. There was not a lot of compassion there. I feel perhaps it came from the mother that I grew up with. Unconditional. That woman, actually, that's the answer to the question. She is the only person in my life, yes, who unconditionally loved me and showed deep compassion through every step of my journey. So yeah, so it was from her, for sure. Which event, I'm not sure, but definitely from her. Big question, Andrew. Joseph is lurking. Hello to Joseph. Hello to Apurva. Apurva, I sent you an inbox in answer to your other question. So Apurva in the previous video asked about whether I had done any videos on the Yoga Sutras, and I have not done any discussions on them. And I just didn't know if there was a group that was interested in that. And if I were to do that, I would need to do it at least once a week on a regular basis because it's once you start diving into it, it's like it's a sadhana into itself. And so if you have any interest in that, those of you here in the chat or watching in the playback, please let me know, because it's something I would love to do. I have lots of resources, and I have a path in, like an easy path in, if there is an easy path. So that's something I definitely could do. Alrighty, let's see what this long comment is. To see at a distance, but by allowing distance to give back what it removes from us. To see is to experience the continuous and celebrate the sun that is. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Hello. Oh, there we go. Maurice Blanchot. Yes, these are big questions, aren't they, Apurva? I feel the gratitude in you, Sadhana, when you remembered your mother's compassion. So one of the things I wrote down here is let's not forget that this is the medicine of the heart space, and we can't take apart gratitude from compassion. They both live here. They both live here. They're both sit at the center of the tree of life, right? They both sit in that place of beauty, and they are an integral part of healing the heart space. And they sit at this place of the lower three chakras and the upper three chakras. They are the union of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, which is what this card is about. This card is the union of the Shiva and the Shakti, which is what this is. It's that perfect place of beauty. Yeah. What in the world is my card going to be for tomorrow? Okay, so as I shuffle this deck and contemplate compassion, the journey, the process, the three cards that have come before, how can I continue to reveal and understand and peel away the layers of this message that came through a few weeks ago? And the word that came through in Jen's live that we were doing as a group was Maitri. Maitri was the word. And as I mentioned in the intro video, that I wanted to expand beyond Maitri, but that would definitely be part of the Yoga Sutra discussion, is that 33rd sutra is so important. It's been important to me. The trouble is, Apurva, reading some of that Sanskrit, it's hard. I don't know where to put that emphasis sometimes if I'm reading, because the Yoga Sutras, all the words are connected, and then some of the vowel sounds are a little different when you put all the words together. So I know you would be patient with me. Okay, choosing my card for tomorrow. Left hand. What have we got? Look at the wheel. This is a really cool card in this deck. A very cool card. It's much like the Fool, right? I'm just going to grab the Fool. How many of you have this deck? Let me know. Because I think I want to show you the Fool on this card. Because, oh no, it's not. I'm thinking of something else. Okay, maybe it is just this card. I might be thinking of another deck, because I'm going to... Doesn't this image exist? Something very similar in another deck. So here we have this little creature in the water. The water is whirling around. They're on a leaf. Jen has it and loves it. So I feel like something similar exists in another deck, but maybe not. And there's the flowers that are above completing this circle are so beautiful. This is an incredibly beautiful wheel card. I look forward to reflecting on it. Maribeth says, I don't have the deck, but thinking about getting it. Yeah, it's not an easy one. That is for sure. Yeah. Okay. So that's a wrap for tonight. I just want to read Apurva's comment here. Yes, Apurva, I commented on this already. Yeah, I commented on this, and I feel like maybe Jeremy doesn't. Jeremy Hush, the artist guidebook writer, may not, though inspired from this image, may not have understood what that is. And I spoke of the flute because you can definitely see the flute in the picture. So this is definitely Radha Krishna. Yeah, so beautiful. Such a beautiful card. Okay, so I'm going to reflect on the wheel. And if any of you are open to stepping up and participating in this, I will continue to check the hashtags on Instagram and YouTube. And I think I saw somebody post on Facebook as well too. So I will check that out as well too. And I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. Do flutes have 7 holes? I don't know what how many holes a traditional Indian flute has. I would need to check that out. Okay, good. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely evening or the rest of your day wherever you are. Be kind to one another. Namaste.